Will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, good morning. Let's recap what we have discussed yesterday. So far yesterday we have discussed about the enterprise structure. So XYZ Limited is located in head office USA. So XYZ Limited has subsidiaries in different countries. So by this we are linking the XYZ business process, XYZ existing hierarchy with FI and CO. We are linking the XYZ existing hierarchy with FI and CO in SAP. So XYZ Limited has subsidiaries in different countries and it follows different financial year. So the financial year requirement can be complied in SAP with fiscal year variant by defining fiscal year variant and local currencies. So it has like we can use company code currency as the local currency. So the company code is using these local currencies in the respective country. So after that, we have the reporting requirement for a specific country. XYZ Limited located in India has to report as per the statutory requirements. They should report in 4 different ways. Whereas XYZ US Limited also has the same requirement, and whereas the Europe company code. So we have also another requirement where we have to report for this particular company code other than local currency. We should also show our reports in USD, Europe, and Malaysian dollar. The same applies to all the company codes that you have. So after that, we have branches. So in the SAP, how we are going to define the branches? So these currencies, reporting and currencies, we can define. We have a leading and non-leading ledger concept. By there, we can be defining it, and we can solve this problem. So now they have branches also. So they have this many branches. So how we can in SAP, how we can define these branches and how we can show the reporting, how we can show the profit and loss as per the branches. So where FI is concerned, we can define these branches as business areas and we can extract the reports based on the particular business area. So how the system knows a particular transaction is related to this business area? So when you are posting a transaction, you will be defining the business area which you have already created at the client level. After that, so whereas CO is concerned, we can use the same reporting at the segment level. So we have the segments. So we can define these branches as segments so that you can deep dive into the segment. But in the business area, it's only show you the particular. It will not show you the particular department cost. It only show you the branch cost. But whereas in the segment, you can deep dive into the plant, and also from the plant, from the profit center, you can deep dive into the cost center. So where where CO is concerned, this is used for an internal reporting, for your internal reporting, where you can see every cost that incurred in an organization in a top down approach. And after that, I explained you the departments. So in the let's go for the plant. So the plants can be defined in FI as plans only. So we have an MM and SD team where they will use the plants, and from the plant in the company code, from the particular plant, they may do the operations. But where FI is concerned, we'll be defining that plants as the profit centers. After that, we have departments. So we have different departments in different company codes. So now how will be mapping these departments with SAP? So these departments where FI is concerned, we can map it with the functional area. So for reporting purpose, functional area will segregate the JL accounts which you have created with respect to the department, so that when you are calling the profit and loss account with a particular functional area, it will show. Suppose I have created a functional area like FUN underscore production. So if I run the report with the particular functional area, I only get all the JL accounts that are created under the functional area, or all the postings that I have done under this functional area, and I will get the total picture. What is the profit and loss for a particular department? Whereas where CO is concerned, so F so if an organization is only using pure FI and no CO, then this functional area will be useful for that organization. And where the organization is using FI and CO, they can use cost center groups. They'll as per yesterday's example, I said they will be creating these as a cost center groups, and under the cost center groups they are creating a particular plant, and in the plant they will be creating the departments or something like that. So after that, so after departments we have identified what is the functional area also. So now let's see what are the levels we have. What are the levels? Levels. Levels. So levels in the sense in which level we are creating this, in which level we
Hello,
are creating. Yeah, Abhishek.
your screen is not visible, Manoj.
Oh, sorry. Let me share my screen. Okay, is my screen visible now?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Okay, sure. So let's recap it again. So far, like yesterday, what we have discussed, what you have discussed is like, so we have defined like how we will be defining a company. So under the company, how we will be defining the company codes, and after that, so what under the company first XYZ Limited come to us, come to the implementation partner, whereas Accenture or Deloitte, and they will be saying, they will be giving these requirements. We'll be asking all the questions to them. So everything will be the questionnaires. So initial you will have a questionnaire document. In that questionnaire document, you'll be framing all the questions to XYZ Limited, and you will be sending to the XYZ Limited, and XYZ Limited will be filling all these uh, answers. So like we'll ask in which and all, so how many subsidiaries do you have which are legally registered under the Local Companies Act? So they would say, boss, I have these three company codes which are registered so far, and our group company code is head office. So after that we'll be we'll be asking, so which financial year will be like you are using for the reporting purpose. So they will say like these are the financial years which I am using for the reporting purpose. After that, what is your local currency? So they may use India INR as a local currency. Maybe they even though the company is situated in India, they only have an US like US vendors and US customers, and they are doing the transactions with them only. So we'll be defining, so there would be a case where you will be defining a company, even though it is located in India, you'll be defining that company code as that company code currency as an USD. And after that, there, what are your reporting requirements where in the company specific? So specify that, you will ask. So they'll specify like for this company code, so I have this requirement report, I have this reporting requirement, and same as to the other company codes. So we ask, so other than the company code currency, do you want any other currencies to be defined in the particular company code? They'll say yes. So they'll give, if no, they'll specify no, or else if they will specify the company code currencies which they want to also view. After that, branches, we'll ask, do you have any branches? And also, do you have any plants? And also, how many departments do you handle? So after that, so how many levels we have in SAP? We have two levels. One is client level and company code level. So we have client level and company code level. So what is client level? So let's take an example. Let's take an example in a room. So there are so many bachelors living in a room. So suppose say a family, in a family, so you have fruits in hall. So who have the access to the fruits? All the family members, right? But but you are storing that fruits in a particular room, so that who has the access? Only the people in room, correct? So in the same way, in the same way, if you define, if you define any, if you define any variant I have explained here at client level, any variant I have explained here at the client level, then any company code you are creating, any company code you are creating has the access to that, has the access to that, correct? So now I'll give an example what and all we will be creating at the client level, so that all the company codes also will have the access. So we'll be creating chart of accounts at the client level. So from the starting, I am saying, so we'll be assigning this one chart of account. Suppose say I'll be using the chart of account XYZ. XYZ is my chart of accounts. I can define XYZC as my chart of accounts. Now, these chart of accounts can be used by different company codes. How it can use? Because I am defining this chart of accounts at client level, so that every company code can be using, can use it. Okay. So let me let's okay. So let's see. So in the above topic, let's take one by one and see. So we have we have chart of accounts, and we have fiscal year, business area, functional area, cost center, profit center. So let's see like in which level we will be defining that, and whether we can assign it to company code level or not. So for example, first let's take chart of accounts. So what is chart of accounts? It records all the GL accounts in it. Now the chart of accounts will be defining at client level, and later we can assign it to company code. Okay. So as we have discussed, we'll be defining the XYZC as a chart of account, and this can be used by different company codes. After that, controlling area. So here I said in F5 we use chart of accounts. And in CO, we'll be defining a controlling area as the top level hierarchy. So we have operating concern where CO is concerned. So this would be the hierarchy. So operating concern, controlling area, under the controlling area, we'll be defining everything. In the same way, to assign this, to use this controlling area, across the company codes, we will be defining at the client level. So once I define this controlling area as the client level, so we can assign it to the company codes, all the company codes. Now, so apart from controlling area, we have business area. So there is a drawback for the business area. So business area we will be only defining at the client level, and there is no control. To assign the business area to a particular company code. So any company code can use this business area. So for example, let's take GL. Okay. So what I have done is I have created a GL account under an account group under a particular chart of accounts. I have created 1000 GL under the chart of accounts YCOA. Now 1000 GL in the under the chart of accounts. Let me create chart of accounts YCOA. Okay. Now I will be assigning this particular chart of accounts to a company code, because I am creating this GL at chart of account level, because chart of accounts is at the client level. So as per our example, this chart of accounts can be used by any company code where we can assign it. So only the company codes which are assigned to this particular chart of accounts. So when I am creating a GL and it is created at the particular chart of account level, so these GL can be created under the company codes where we will be assigning the, so only we as when only we assign the company codes to the chart of account, those company codes are eligible to create the GL under the chart of accounts. So for example, I have a company code XYZI which is related to India. So I am creating the company code under this chart of accounts. So I am creating this 1000 GL under this chart of accounts. So now I can use this 1000 GL to post the transactions for a particular company code. Okay. If I am trying to post, so suppose for example, I have posted rent expense account data to bank account in 1000 company code. So 1000. So in XYZ company code, I have this GL assigned. So this GL I am using to post XYZ rent account data to bank account in XYZI company. So now the system will allow you to post. But when I am posting these same transaction with the GL that is created under this company code in another company code, then system will throw the error like, boss, you not created this GL in your company code, and now you are posting this GL which is not created in the other company code, for example XYZU, and so that you cannot post the transaction. But whereas where business area is concerned, it is not assigned to any company code. So you have a feasibility to use the business area across all the company codes without any assignment to the business area. The next thing is, let's go for credit control area. So what is credit control area? Credit control area is nothing but, so you will be giving the credit to the customers, right? So here in the credit controlling area, you will be defining the credit amount. So suppose say suppose say 1 lakh USD. So a company XYZ Limited in India can only give credit to their customers for 1 lakh USD. Other than that, they are not eligible to give the credit, because an organization income depends on the credit which you have given, right? So if you have given more credit, then your amount will get blocked there, and you won't get any money from the customer. So now, to keep the control on that, we'll be defining the credit controlling area at the client level, and we will be assigning it to the company code, so that there would be a control at the company code level at the credit specific. So we'll be defining at the company code level, and at the customer level, SD team will be taking care of that. Now let's take another example. So another component, which is functional area. So we'll be defining the functional area at the client level, and every company code we can assign it to the company codes. And after that, we have the posting period variant. So you'll be so posting period is variant is nothing but we will be telling the system to allow the postings at a particular period. We have a control on the postings. For example, we have already discussed this in our demo class. For example, I am in third period, and there is also a second period which is already gone, and now I am in the third period. So now a end user tries to post a particular transaction which is related to the second period. So I want the system, I need a control where the end user should not post any transaction which is related to the previous month, so that previous month or the future month. So I'll be telling the system only allow the, I'll be opening only third period to post in the system, so that I have a control on the reporting. So when I pull the reports for the third month, so I'll be seeing the exact figures, right? So in the second that is the thing. After that, so posting periods will be defined at the client level, and we can assign the it to company code. So after that, we have field status variant. So what is field status variant? So field status variant is nothing but to keep the control. Field status variant is used to keep the control on the GL accounts which you are creating. So for example, in our previous example, we are creating a GL account 1000, which is a rent account. So after creating the GL account, we'll be posting. So we have FB50, FB60, FB70, which is a user-friendly transactions, which we post the general entries. Suppose in FB50, I am using this 1000 rent account. So here I have the text, for example. So suppose say you have this account receivables domestic. So here you will be assigning the field status group. You will be assigning the field status group. So this group is there in the field status variant. So this see the field status variant is 001. In that you have these field status groups. So based on these field status groups, you can define which is optional, which is required, and which is surplus. So if I am posting to that GL, so this you will not see these surplus fields. You will only see required fields, or else you can see the optional fields. I'll be explaining you this when I am going in detail with the field status variant. So after that, here also same. Now, so after the field status variant, you will have a tolerance group. So tolerance group also, it will be the client level, and you will be assigning to the company code level. So what is tolerance group? Tolerance group is nothing but if some end user is posting a transaction, if they have a difference, if have a difference in the amount, so we can say like, so this much a company can tolerate the difference, so that difference will be posted to the difference account. So we'll be maintaining one account where there would be a where that account is used for the difference postings, and later we will be adjusting that. So after that, we'll have document type, account groups. So here we have the document types, right? So document types is defined at the client level. So every company code which is using this particular document type. I said like document type we have SA, KA, KR, right? So I'll be explaining the document types also with you. So and after that we have account groups. So once you create an account group at the client level, so that can be assigned to a chart of account level, and that can be used by the company codes. So these are few examples where you will be defining. So levels, I have client level, and after that I have company code level. So this is the example. These are few of the examples that we have defined top and their assignments. So when you come to the profit center, cost center, they are company code specific. We will be defining at that also at the chart of accounts level. Chart of accounts is nothing but the client level, and that you will be assigning to the company code. So now after this, let's take our first topic, chart of accounts. So after explaining the chart of accounts, from tomorrow, let's go into the system and create company code, and do all these activities. So from tomorrow, we will be creating company code, what is fiscal year variant, posting year variant. So we'll be defining everything which I show now. So I'll be explaining first the SAP screens. After that, we'll be going and we'll be defining. So we'll be defining company and defining create controlling area. And so I have just explained you, right? So we'll be defining it, and we'll be defining company code and the business area, functional area, and we will maintaining consolidated business area, which is nothing but, so in the business area concept, I'll tell you what is the consolidated business area. After that, we will be maintaining the FM area, and after that, you'll be defining the segment and defining the profit centers. Now, so you have defined, you need to assign, right? Now we have an assignment column also under the financial account. Now I'll be assigning the company code to company. After that, so in our, so now here if you see what we have done, it is in the client level, we have defined it. Now we should assign it, right? So this is the assignment. So we'll be assigning the business area to consolidated, assigning the finance management area, FM area to company code, and we'll be assigning the profit center to the company code. These are the few assignments we have. So after that, chart of accounts, correct? So when chart of account is, so what is chart of accounts? What is chart of accounts? So chart of accounts contains the list of GL accounts. So chart of accounts is the master list of all GL accounts in a company code. It is a master list of all the GL accounts in a company code. So as we know, in our previous classes also, we have discussed like, so in one company code to post daily day-to-day transactions, we need GL accounts, correct? I think we have discussed, yeah. So in one company code to post the general entry, for example, furniture account data to bank account, we need a GL account, correct? So to create the GL account, so the GL accounts are created under with reference to, the GL accounts are created with reference to the account groups that we have defined. So here we have defined the current account groups, correct? So under these account groups, a GL account is getting created. So all the account groups are created under the chart of accounts. So under this chart of accounts only, I'll be creating all these account groups. Later, all the chart of accounts are assigned to the company code. So let's write it here. So please maintain the books and write the concepts. So do you want to write it? Do you want to write this? I'll give you a few minutes. Write this structure in your books. See, after my explanation, once you write only, like it will be captured in your memory, so that you don't want to again revisit this. So I'll be sharing you these notes, but if you write it what I am telling, right? So some words I'll be not typing here, but I'll be explaining you in conceptual way, so that if you write, it will be useful for your future. That's why I'm asking you to write. Okay, let's go.
Can you go up a little, Manoj?
Yeah. Okay, you're actually writing. I thought like you're not writing. Okay. So from
Give
where
me
you are done, so till where you have written? Sorry.
Give me 1 minute. I'm just completing this.
Sure. Got it.
I'm done. You can move on.
Okay. So what is chart of accounts? Chart of accounts is nothing but master list of all the GL accounts in a company. So under the chart of accounts, what and all we have? We have operating chart of accounts, and we have group chart of accounts, and we have country specific chart of accounts. So what is operational chart of accounts? Operational chart of accounts is nothing but to operate daily day-to-day business transactions, each company code must require one chart of accounts, which is called operational chart of accounts. To operate daily day-to-day business transactions, each, you also write that, okay, each company code must require one chart of accounts, which is called operating chart of accounts. Operating chart of accounts. Okay. So we have operating chart of accounts, group chart of accounts, and country specific chart of accounts. So why we use group chart of accounts for? So we use group chart of accounts for consolidation level reporting. For example, yeah, I'll be telling you in detail in one topic. So why we use the country specific chart of accounts? We use country specific chart of accounts for statutory reportings in some countries. Statutory reporting in some countries. First, let's take operating chart of accounts. So why we use operating chart of accounts? It uses for operational day-to-day activities. So daily day-to-day activities to perform, we use operational chart of accounts. So we'll be assigning these operating chart of accounts to the company code. For example, so I have, so let's take one scenario where we are using same chart of accounts across all the company codes. Scenario 1. Same chart of accounts. For example, I have a company XYZ Limited. So under the company, I have company codes assigned. So I have company codes XYZ India, XYZ US, XYZ Europe. Now, so for all these company codes, I am assigning a common chart of account. Common chart of account is X, X, Y, Z, C is the common chart of account. I'll be giving across all the company codes. So now I have a GL account created in under the chart of accounts in all the company codes. Now I have a GL account 200, 100, which is related to rent. Okay, so I have postings for the rent 10K, posted 10,000, 20,000 and 30,000. If I use the common operating chart of accounts, operating chart of accounts across all the company codes, if I call the chart of account on a particular company code, if I call a chart of account and a particular company code, I can see the postings of the all the company code. So we have F.1, right? F.01. So here I'll be giving one chart of account YCOA and I'll be giving my company code. So I'll be giving my company code. Company code in the sense under the YCOA in our case it's the chart of accounts is XYZC. Our chart of accounts is XYZC. I'll be giving XYZC here and I'll be giving all my company codes here. Now I will get the amount of, so I can give the company code specific or else I can give all the company codes. So if I give all the three company codes, it will sum and it will say 60,000. So 60,000 is the postings that happen to this particular GL, which is, let's say, rent, which is related to rent expense. So where it comes to the example of group chart of accounts, it is scenario 2. So let's take the same scenario till here. So we have company code and we have three company codes under this company. So now chart of accounts. So what chart of accounts these? What chart of accounts these are using? These are using separate chart of accounts. Suppose it is not using chart of accounts commonly for all the company codes. So now for the consolidation purpose, we have a concept called group chart of accounts. We have a concept called group chart of accounts where we'll be creating this chart of accounts, and we also create this group chart of accounts, and under these chart of accounts we will be assigning the group chart of account. Suppose say XYZZ. So we'll be assigning this XYZT to all the company codes. Now let's see how this GL concept works. So I'll be creating GL in a company code with different names, correct? So I'll be creating GL under the chart of account, under the operational chart of accounts, under the operating chart of accounts. Yes, for this company code, let's say I have created 1000, correct? So the GL would be the rent account. Okay, rent account. So in operational chart of account, I'll be creating rent account for in this chart of account. In this company code, I'll be defining it as 1000, and I have also a feasibility where I can define a different number for this particular rent account in the chart of account, because the chart of account different, right? So the account groups also will get different. So now you have the group chart. So now here I'll be defining it as 1003, something as here 1004. So now so here comes the group chart of accounts. Under the group chart of accounts, what we'll be doing is you'll be also defining a rent account as 1001 1000, suppose say, because 1000 you'll be assigning as 1000. Now when you are creating the particular GL account in the respective company code, you will be assigning group number everywhere 1000, correct? So in this way when I am calling, when I call this group chart of accounts, so I will get the report and I will give the 1000. So I will get the report of all the company codes. So that is the thing why we use the consolidated chart of, we will use the group chart of accounts for the consolidation purpose. For example, let me show you in the GL. So I am talking about, if I am creating this general account in the company code. So for example, let's take this example scenario 2. So this is my company code XYZI. So let's take, instead of 1010, you take XYZI. So under the chart of accounts, so this has, under the chart of accounts, you will be creating this GL account under the chart of accounts. After that, you will be assigning the group account number here. So if you go here, you will be creating this GL account under YCOA. After that, when I post any GL entry, by using this buildings account, that will be automatically flown to this group account number, so that when I run the normal chart of accounts, let's see what chart of accounts this particular code. So this is 1010, correct? So 1010, the chart of accounts is YCOA, and the alternative chart of accounts will be YIKR. So what is alternative chart of accounts? We'll be coming it in the coming up with the in the company code chart, in the country specific chart of accounts. There we will be discussing that. So now the concept is clear, right? So why we use group chart of accounts? Do you have any questions on this? Okay, I think like you don't have any questions. So let's go. So I'll give you one more example. So if I go to F.01. So for group chart of accounts, so you have an idea, you will have an idea like even if I have like if you have a different chart of accounts, you can say you will give different chart of accounts here and you will be giving the different company codes here and you will be executing. So there is no synchronize, right? There is there is no mapping. So this will show you the rent account and this will also show you the rent account and this will also show you the rent account, but there is no synchronize, right? So when I give this group chart of account here and then I give the company codes, now the system will show me a single account which is a rent account, and it will be showing the sum of the all the transactions which has been posted to the particular GL account. So that is the concept here. Now let's go to, let's define what is country specific chart of accounts. So country specific chart of account is nothing but will be, so where a country where you have a statutory reporting requirement for a particular country. For example, I have China. So China want to report in a proper number range, correct? In a proper number range. So I have USA and I have China. So for example, let's take this scenario only. So now what is country specific chart of accounts? So we'll be creating this chart of accounts for a specific country for the country reporting purpose. So now we have a company code XYZ. We are already following. We have this many company codes for a particular country where our company is located at. Now we have a common chart of accounts assigned to the company code. Now in XYZ India, I have a requirement where my GL numbers should be in a specific way. Like for example, so normally in XYZC chart of accounts, we have defined. So let me copy and paste our example. Yeah. So these are the number ranges, right, that we have defined. So for XYZC, what we have done, we have defined in this number range, right? But for India, as per the company specific, for example, only I'm saying as per company specific, it should have a different number range. So for example, so see like for this XYZC chart of accounts, we are using, if I am creating any capital account, I should create in this number range. But as per Indian government requirement, if you are creating any capital account, so you only need to create in this number range or the in this number abbreviation. So now you will get, now there is a conflict with your normal chart of accounts and the requirement of the legal entity which is in India. Now we'll be creating a concept, as country specific chart of accounts we will be creating. For example, XYZC is your XYZ A. Suppose say this is your country specific chart of accounts. Now I'll be creating country specific chart of account. So I'll be assigning these country specific chart of accounts across all the GL accounts. For example, in the same way as the group reporting, here you will have country specific. So now this concept will not come, right? So I only have the requirement for India. So as per this country specific, I only want to show this in a different way. Suppose say 4,000. So I should show this particular range GL in 4,000 series. So now I'll be creating a country specific chart of account as uh, uh, chart of account. So let's see. So we have here country specific chart of accounts. Chart of accounts. So I'll be creating country specific chart of accounts XYZA. So now I'll be assigning XYZA only to this company code, right? So I only have the requirement for only this company code. So I'll be creating the company specific chart of account and I'll be assigning to only this country, because the group reporting concept, here I am using the same chart of accounts across all the company codes. So I'll get the consolidated report with respect to this chart of accounts. So to comply with the country specific, I'll be using this chart of accounts XYZA. For example, so this country specific chart of account is assigned at company code level. Now, for example, for example, let's take this scenario. So I have 1010 company code. So here in the chart of accounts, I'll be assigning the operating chart of accounts. Now, where we have alternative chart of accounts, right? There you will be assigning your country specific chart of account. Now, now while you are creating a particular GL account, for example, in our case, when I am creating this GL account 1000 in operating chart of accounts, we have in the control data, I have alternative account number. So in this alternative account number, I'll be creating this 4000 under the chart of accounts YIKR here. So, but in our case, it's XYZA, and I'll be assigning this to this particular GL. So if I post anything, in this particular GL, this GL also captures that amount. And in F.01, when I give here, I'll give now the country specific chart of accounts, and I'll give the company code, and when I execute it, I will get the amounts in this GL. When I give this operating chart of account and execute, I'll get this GL. When I execute the country specific chart of accounts and this company code, I'll get this GL. So you have that much feasibility in SAP, where you can do you can create a separate account groups for the country specific chart of accounts. So to summarize, the main key chart of accounts is the operating chart of accounts. So when you are assigning anything to a company code, you only assign operating chart of accounts. You will not assign group chart of accounts to company code. You will only assign operating chart of accounts, and you will be assigning the country specific chart of accounts also. If you see, so so anything which is assigned in this row is operating chart of account only. It's not the group chart of accounts. Now, if anything is assigned in this row, it will be only country specific chart of accounts. It will be only country specific chart of accounts. Now where we'll be assigning the group chart of accounts? When you are creating the operation chart of accounts, there you will be having a column that you can assign the group chart of accounts. So when you are creating an operating chart of accounts, you can assign the group chart of accounts. So from tomorrow we will be learning how to create all this company, how to create a company code. So by tomorrow, get the system access so that you also can be prepared. So you can also practice the scenarios what we are discussing from tomorrow. So we'll be creating a company code. After that, we'll be creating a company first. After that, company code. After that, we'll be creating a fiscal year variant, posting period variant, and we'll be assigning it. We'll be creating controlling area. So tomorrow we'll prepare a list what and all we need to create in the system, and we'll be defining these number ranges and everything there. So tomorrow in SAP we'll be seeing how we can fit this business business hierarchy into the SAP. So in our previous classes we say like we have discussed how this can be fit into the SAP. Now we'll in the tomorrow's class we'll be taking the real SAP GUI, and there we'll be creating it, and we'll be checking how we'll be creating it. Now tomorrow I'll be explaining from the starting. So you this screen is completely new to you, right? So I'll be teaching you. So what is this SAP Easy Access screen? So who will be using this? Generally the end users will be using this SAP Easy Access screen. So what is this box? So why you will be using this box? This box is used to give the transaction codes. So what is a transaction code? And so in this box, what and all you can give. So the transaction codes you can give. So where the consultant will navigate? Consultant will navigate to SPRO. So through the SPRO, so IMG screen, the consultant do where you can do the configuration. So the consultant only has the access to these configurations. No end user can access these configurations. End user is only limited to the GUI screen. So I'll be explaining. So what is this? What is this? Why we use for? So why we use this new GUI window? So I'll be explaining every menu, every menu bar here, and what are the uses of this. And then only we will be going to create a company code. Yeah. So that's all for today. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye, Manoj.
Bye.